The FCT political terrain is already activated with political actors doing their thing, politicking ahead of the February 2026 area council elections. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of your regular weekly program Issues on the Unity Station NT Channel 5 Abuja. I am Abdullah Hedia, your host. Do join us again. Today we shall be looking at citizens' participation in the coming area council elections, knowing fully well that citizens' participation is key to the success or otherwise of any election. Of course, democracy is known to give the people the power to choose their leaders. We have a guest that will be joining us shortly on the conversation tonight. Join us again. Welcome back. Now, as the political temperature rises, so do the expectations of citizens and the demand for meaningful engagement across board. To speak more on this, our guest is right here to drive us through from voter process, political parties activities, as well as what citizens are also doing to engage with the would-be leaders in the coming months for the election. Well, I have one critical stakeholders from the youth community, Zach and Nehemiah, is representing FCT youth stakeholders. Thank you for joining us on Issues tonight.
Thank you, Abdullah.
All right. Well, I know you've been so much into youth issues and also engaging political leaders across board for a very long time. Now, another election is just coming in some months now. If INEC timetable is anything to go by February, what would you say you've seen so far from the youth community in terms of engagement, in terms of observing political leaders and parties doing their thing?
Precisely, I am from Buhari Area Council. Like what you have said, FCT is a cosmopolitan city that shoulder the whole nation to say it. Looking at the fact that the president stays here, senator stays, almost all Nigerians stays here because it serves as a host. So FCT is always a different state compared to other 36 states. When it comes to election, it's always very difficult because our election is not conducted by what's happening in other states. In a state, most of the elections are conducted by state electoral commission, while in FCT, our election is conducted by a national body of the INEC. So it is always different, unlike the state election. So what we are currently doing as youth stakeholders, as youth leaders, is to create awareness that yes, election is coming again in 2026. But already the process have already been started because primary election will be coming up on 21st of June. So what we are doing currently is to create awareness to our people, is to educate them on the process of election. We cannot wait till February next year. We have to start right now by electing the credible leaders that will stand as candidate of all the political party. In FCT currently we have APC, we have PDP, we have Labour Party, we have SDP, so to say, that are so strong. So what we are currently doing is to educate our people to participate in all these political parties. They should not be left alone. Looking at what happened 2023, the wind of Labour, it came and it swept almost the FCT. But what we are doing is that let all the youth who has learned what governance should be should join all the political party and also participate from beginning to the end. Just as I've said, the main election is the beginning. From the primary election, because that is when the process started from. who are you electing to stand as the candidate of your party? That is first of all, who are you electing? So all this should not be left to the party leaders alone. The youth should get involved. People who are learners should also get involved. Every person should get involved in all the political party. So currently, that's what we are doing as youth leaders. Throughout the weekend, I was in Buari. Last week, I was in Abaji, and we are trying to see how we can follow up all the area council to educate our people to
All
participate.
right. Well, Zach, thank you for that opening, which I think sets the tone for other, conversations. Now, I know the youth in the FCT under the Youth Stakeholders Forum have a network, that tries to bring all of you together using one voice. We saw your voice during the demand for youth secretariat, which we think yielded result that today we have a mandate secretary and a secretariat for the youth, which I think is a very good one and a step in the right direction. Now, if we look at your strength, the network of youth, how do you think we can help in this coming election? Because when election comes, we have a lot of issues. We have issues of violence that are mostly perpetrated by the youth. So, what message are you also trying to push, to the youth to disabuse their mind and also to try to make them understand that election is not war, but a process of choosing credible leaders?
Just as you have said, last year, or yes, last year, uh, when we advocated for the creation of youth secretariat, we had a meeting with the Honorable Minister. He asked us what we want as youth, because it was a build-up to August 1st protest, nationwide protest. And we said in FCT, just as I've said, that FCT is a city that is shoulder on whatever thing that happened in FCT is more as if that uh, what we are doing currently as youth stakeholders. We held a meeting as the emirs and the chief of all our communities, the political leaders and the youth leaders across, and the meetings were held at the Public Complaint Commission. What's a way forward? What do we do? Because issue of violence is mostly affect the youth and the women, and this violence is also carried out, especially, I mean, most especially by the youth. So everything that has to do with violence is connected to all. Uh, I may be affiliated to a political party, you may be affiliated to another political party, you also may be affiliated to a political educate our people to be more conscious of good governance instead of the violence. Uh, Electing leader, every leader should test his popularity through grassroots, not through the violence. So we're able to discuss at that length, and we all agree that yes, in coming election, everybody should go back to his grassroots and test his popularity. What we have been lacking for these years in FCT is lack of good governance. We are just lucky that yes, we have a minister that is currently covering the shame of FCT right now, unlike before. If you visit Buhari, for example, you see that the development was only centered around the area council headquarters. Visit places like Shere, Kau, Igu, all this wealth, there is no development. Not just there, go to Abaji, aside the Abaji town, visit other ward and communities, there is no development. So what we are doing is that instead of, we are not saying you shouldn't listen to your political leaders, we are not saying you shouldn't listen to your political parties, but what you should do more is your community. How can you bring good governance to your community, to your political ward, to your area council instead of violence? If you look at FCT as of last year, FCT at the time was beginning to be consumed by bandit and so on and so forth. Adding it to political violence is more as if we have been totally defeated. So what we need as people is good governance.
All right. Well, Zach, I must commend you through the youth stakeholders that you people are doing very well, and we expect more in the coming days and months that we are approaching. The next area council elections, and we know your voices are very strong in terms of decision making and also in terms of persuasion of the youth not to take the side of violence. So, but before we continue, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, there will be more questions for us to answer on the conversation. All right, you're still watching issues on the Unity Station NT Channel 5 Abuja. Time now to go on a break, and when we return, there will be more to talk about. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching Issues on the Unity Station, and my guest is still here with us in the studio. Not time to go, but time to answer more questions. Okay, I want to thank you for patiently being with us on the program. Now, let's also look at the issue of political consciousness now, because it is when you are politically conscious of what is happening in your locality, in your area council, in your community, in the LCT, that you'll be able to demand for good governance. So how have you been able to also put forward in your discussions to some of these politicians now that are coming to say, I want to be your chairman, I want to be your councillor? What are you telling them? Now we've seen the developments that the honorable minister is bringing. So now they also have their own part to play. What are you asking for on these leaders that are coming to ask you for your votes?
Well, right now, at the stage we're at the stage of political parties seeking the vote of delegates, not the general public yet. It is after the primary election that the politician will start going word by word, community by community, to seek the vote of the people. But what we are currently doing, we have a forum that has to do with all the political parties. What we are currently doing, we are trying to set an agenda. What do you have even before the primary? What have you been doing before now? And what will you be doing after? If by the grace of God you're able to win your primary election, what do you have for your people? So at that forum, what we have been able to do is that we have set agenda across the six area council. Go back to your people, tell them what you want to do before they can be able to convince their people, even at the delegate level. We understand that even at a delegate level, we have people who are delegates in our houses, in our homes, in our community. These are people that we are also talking with. So go back home, convince them, and see, let them understand what you have for your people and what you are aspiring for. Before now, if you look at FCT before was not as populated as it is now. Looking at the fact that yes, we have 884 communities, but aside that, we also have estates that are springing up on daily basis, and these people are entitled to be voted for and to also vote. So altogether, it's no longer about your community, your village alone. It is about others who are coming with more experience, with more money, with more connection than you. So you need to take into cognizance that yes, these people are also entitled to be voted for and to also vote in FCT. So what we are doing is that get back to your people, educate them. What do you have before and after?
All right. Well, in recent time, we've seen the politicking has already started, and politicians are at their wit again. We've seen cross carpeting, the what we call defection now from one political party to the other. I don't know if the FCT youth stakeholders sort of are, partisan. Are you partisan? Do you belong to a political party, or you just neutral?
Uh, FCT youth stakeholders is the coming together of youth leaders across the six area council, across the these different political parties. So we are not particular about one political party or the other. We encompasses all. Some are from PDP, some are from APC, some are from Labour Party, some are from SDP, some are from ADC, and so on and so forth. We come together as youth stakeholders. We are not just bearing the name as youth stakeholder. We are people that has a track record in our community, in our area council, and as a state as a whole. So we are not partisan.
Okay, now that's fine. Okay, let's also look at the issue of, you know, the youth now not allowing the financial inducement that we've seen in past elections. Now we're talking about demand for good governance. How can you stay above board to say, well, it is not money politics? Let us be credible. In as much as we want credible leaders, let's also be credible in ourselves before we demand for credible leaders. So, how do you think your forum can also help push that sensitization to see, well, with what is happening now, we've seen that development is possible, what the minister is doing. How can we also cascade such down by electing good leaders to be able to provide such development for us?
Uh, well, this is a very difficult question. When we talk about political endorsement, it comes with different aspects. Sometimes it's not just about giving out money. It will also be giving out items and so forth. And sometimes when a political leader is giving out items such as food, it will be very difficult for you to say, don't collect food item from so and so. But political party has a way of inducing their electorate. Sometimes it's not just on the day of election. Some do it before election, some do it after election. I have monitored election at FCT, even at national level. On the election day, you see somebody by the side trying to have a names attendance of people who are voting for either APC or PDP. That will now, the endorsement or the money will now come after the election because they know there are people at the various community. While some, they do it before election in the means of sharing a food items and other items. What we are doing currently, we are trying to educate our people. They will give you 5,000 before 2 days, the 5,000 is gone. But if they're able to give you a scholarship from 100 level to the day of your graduation, or even 1 year, let them support you financially with money after an election. There is something we call bursary. If we have good leaders that can give you bursary at various area council, you will see that it will go beyond than the 5,000 naira
That will be more meaningful.
collected. It will be more meaningful, even the 2 mudu of gari or rice that you've collected. So what we are doing currently is to see how we can educate our people to be more conscious of leaders that come in different means or in different way to induce you with monetary items or food items for you to vote for them. What we are doing is that look at his track record. What has he been doing now? Because before I can aspire as a leader to become your leader, I must have been doing one or two things. You might have tested me in one or two ways. Being a counselor, I cannot leave my ward to come and become counselor of Gariki ward. I might have stayed in Gariki. At least 10, 20, 40 people might have identified with me, knows my character, know either I'm somebody that has integrity. If I get in there or if I got elected, what will I be doing? So this is the consciousness we are bringing to our people. You can see the influence of people. Like recently, I saw when this comedian MC Tagwai declared that he wants to contest chairman election in SDP in Hama. These are people who are coming with money. These are people who are coming with experience and so on and so forth. But what we are telling our people It goes beyond that. You need to vote for leaders that you will see after you have voted them in. There are some leaders that you vote them in, you don't know where they stay, you don't know where they live, you don't know their background, you don't know immediately they are voted in, they disappear until the election period, they will now appear to seek for your vote. So what we are doing, we are going area council by area council, educating our people, creating that awareness that you don't need their money, they need your vote. And you need to vote the right people for you to have a good governance. Because before now, we thought it was not possible for a minister or a local government chairman to do a road from Buari to Toklo, from Toklo to Kau. But right now we are seeing it. We thought it was not possible for a minister to go to Kwali and do a road from Kogi to Kogi Expressway to Pai, from Pai to Gomani, all these places. We thought it was not possible, but right now we are seeing that it is possible with the right people, with the right leader at the helm of affairs.
All right. Well, another work I think you also have to do now is the issue of probably when it is almost time for that election. How can we also assist our people to be conscious of the political system so that they will be part of it? We've seen instances where once election comes, people stay away from such election. It's either I'm not interested or my vote won't count. So there's another aspect that I think you should also be able to assist the system to get more people involved so that we'll have a more credible electoral process.
Well, before now, what we used to have before now, we used to look at aspiring for leadership, that it was having a age bracket. You have to